Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about how Will Smith built a 40-year career and ruined it within about 30 seconds to a minute. But before I say anything, I just want to ask one thing. Has anybody checked in on Pete Davidson? Cause it's only a matter of time before Kanye gets his hands on Pete. He's probably all like, I'm coming for you, Petey. But no, seriously. I mean, seriously. Because that man is pissed off at him. And we also know he ain't all there in the head because he's bipolar. And he refuses to take his medication. So, yeah. Pete needs to start looking over his shoulder and stuff. But now back to Will Smith. Now, I'm a huge fan of Will Smith. I've been a fan just like many people because he started off on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air back in the early 90s and stuff. And the dude has built an impressive career over the years and stuff. So maybe it wasn't about 40 years, maybe it's about 30, 35-year career or so. But I know he was trying to be famous before that with rap and everything. And so he's a huge, like people are like a huge fan of his. You know, he's in the hearts of millions. And for the most part, nobody has ever seen him really act this way. And it was quite shocking. And I'm hoping that because Will acted like a man child, I'm hoping this will be a teaching lesson to many people out there what not to do in a situation like this. Because Will was in the complete wrong. I know what many of you saying, oh, he defended his wife and you got to defend your wife. You can defend your wife. You ain't got to assault nobody. And that's exactly what he did. And now, sadly, his career is tarnished. Not just because of the slap, but because of how he cursed out Chris Rock on live TV. And saying the MF word is something you're not supposed to say on TV, especially live TV in America. It was so bad that many people, like, they had to edit it out of the American version and people had to watch the Japanese version and stuff. And so, because I don't watch award shows no more, 'cause I just think they're stupid and pointless and I could care less about a room full of celebrities. But I watched the clip online a couple of times because at first I thought it was staged. Because let's face it, award shows just aren't what they used to be no more. And they're just not fun. And so I thought to myself, okay, maybe this is staged. Maybe this is rigged. Just so they can get some hype out of this, you know what I'm saying? And so I kept looking at the slap, and at first it didn't even look like he slapped him at first because of the way how he slapped. And I'm just like, that was kind of weird because we seen Will slap somebody before, that dude who tried to kiss him on the lips. And and it made no sense is that Chris saw him walk up. He had plenty of time to react. Then Will telegraph the slap. One thing myself, that has to be fake. But then a lot of people pointing jabs online talking about, well, Will and Chris aren't that great of actors, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, man, whatever. Like, Will's a pretty good actor. But I've never seen Chris in nothing. Like, I'm not even joking. I've never seen his stand-up. I've never seen him in a TV show. I've never seen him in a movie. I've never seen that man in nothing. But I've heard his voice and stuff. And so, like, but then more and more stuff started to come forward. And it's just like, okay, this probably is real and everything. But how did it all come down to this? Like, you must ask yourself, like, was this something building up for years? Was this just in the moment? Or was it because he's scared of his wife and got caught laughing? So let's break down how all this started from the very, very beginning. Back in, I believe, in 2016. See, back in those Oscars, not a single black person was nominated for, I think, nothing. And so this pissed off a lot of people, especially black people, to where the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite started trending on Twitter. And so they needed a host. They needed to make up for themselves. So they found themselves a black host to try to get themselves out of a hole. And that person they got was Chris Rock. Now, this caused Jada Pinkett Smith to tweet to Chris, talking about, like, don't take this gig and this, and that. So after that, being Chris Rock, he decided he's gonna poke a little fun at it, and he made jabs towards Jada. I forgot exactly what he said, but it was like a joke. And then he was hitting jab after jab after jab. And so a lot of people believe this is what started the whole like beef, if there ever was any beef. Because nobody knows if there really is any beef or not. And so like, and if Will wanted to confront him, he probably could have done it a long time ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so with that said, like I look at it like this. Should he have boycotted that year? I don't know. That's up to him. I don't know his financial situation. Like I said, I've never seen him in nothing. I doubt he's in a lot of stuff lately. I know he was in that Saw reboot that did not do any good. And so maybe he just needed the money and stuff. And him being a comedian, he poked fun. So now it comes to 2022. And of course, it was the joke heard around the world. Now, if you didn't know the significance of this joke, like what's going on with Jada, then of course you would think it's pretty funny, because it was. Like myself, I didn't know she suffers from alopecia. And so when I heard this joke, I'm like, okay, I know what G.I. Jane is. I never seen the movie, but I know Demi Moore shaved her hair bald. And of course, Jada Pinkett Smith is now bald. And I've been wondering for the longest time, why is she bald? Then we see Will Smith laughing, hysterically laughing. He thought the joke was funny, but then you look and you see Jada's face. She rolled her eyes and she was not happy. Then all of a sudden it goes to Chris and we see Will walking up all casually and everything, and then whack. And then when he turned around, he had a smirk on his face. But then that quickly went away to where he kind of had this, yeah, I did something right. Yeah, I did what I did kind of look on his face. You know what I'm saying? And then he walked down. So then Chris is all like, I just got that blank slapped at me by Will Smith on live TV. And then Will proceeded to do something we haven't seen Will do in a long time. And that is act like a punk. And that is act like a PAB. And if you don't know what a PAB is, just put the words in context. It has to do with a woman's body parts, lower extremity body parts. It has to do with a person's backside. And then it has to do something with a female dog. And he acted like a man child after that. He acted like he needed something to prove and everything. I bet you anything, when he was walking back with that look on his face, he was contemplating, crap, what did I just do? But he's in a room full of his peers and millions of people are watching it on TV. So then he decided, all right, I'm gonna old school this and everything. And then that's when he proceeded to cuss Chris Rock using the MF word and everything. Talking about, keep my wife's name out your mouth. And Chris like, oh, fine, no, I will and everything. Chris didn't understand what the world had just happened. Now, supposedly, the Academy wanted Will gone. The police were on the scene. They were really ready to escort him. But the person who created the whole Oscar this year and stuff, they didn't know none of this stuff was going on. He didn't know the police was there. He didn't know Will was asked to be gone, nothing like that. But supposedly Will refused to leave, acting like a child. And you gotta stop and ask yourself, this dude is throwing away his entire career over a joke. A literal joke. And see, the reason why this joke resonated and was offensive to so many people is that Jada Pinkett Smith has alopecia. Now, I've never heard of that until the Oscars and stuff. Apparently, it's something, it's kind of like cancerous, and it causes people to lose their hair, especially women, and a lot of black women. So this is why she had to shave her hair. I didn't know she made this public because I don't watch her YouTube channel. I don't dislike Jada Pinkett Smith in no way. It's just, she seems mean, like really, really mean and stuff. Like, cause I've noticed something in the roles that I've seen her in, she always plays a mean person, and she plays it too good. You know what I'm saying? And so then at that point, Will, like, you know, got his award, his first Oscar award. He was crying. And we don't know necessarily why he was crying. Could it be because he finally won the award he wanted all his life? Or was he embarrassed or ashamed? But then he made things worse. See, after the slap, Will proceeded to go through a downward spiral. And do that spiral, he made mistake after mistake after mistake. Till this day, he is still making mistakes. His acceptance speech talking about he did it for love, and then he quoted Venus and Serena's like father, and you can see them nodding and everything, so they're like, yeah, we understand. But then their father was not too pleased about that. Will's mom is not too pleased by that. Chris Rock's brother is not too pleased by that, and many people and celebrities are not too happy with that, because he's trying to use love as an excuse for why he physically assaulted a person. So Chris Rock decided he's not going to press charges. Now, there was a reported shouting match between the people who work for the show and Will Smith's PR people. Then, after he got his award, that night he partied it up at the after party. And what did we see? Oh, no, wait, I forgot. Well, no, I forgot. During his speech, he apologized to everybody in the room except for Chris. Then he's at the after party. And at the after party, he's dancing, he's juking, he's jiving. He has a huge smile on his face. He's not sorry whatsoever. He couldn't even be man enough to apologize to Chris Rock. Now, I'll get into a little bit of Chris Rock a little bit later. So then after the whole dancing thing in the photos, Will took a whole day to finally apologize. That's another mistake he made. The physical assault, the verbal assault, the partying, the fake tears. I mean, come on. The fake tears, that was just what people call the white girl excuse. It's when they screw up and they start crying, they want you to feel bad for them. And stuff. It's been around since the beginning of time. When Eve ate that apple, she was crying, oh, I didn't know, something like that. It's been happening since the beginning of time. So then it was reported by Diddy, don't know why he got involved, talking about, oh, everything's cool. They talked it out. They're hugging it out. Everything's fine. Then a day later, oh, I didn't say that. Why is he getting involved? Don't try to cover this up because he's trying to downplay the situation and not make people think about it. I get why he did it, but don't lie about it, dude. So then it was revealed by Chris people that Chris didn't know Jada had alopecia. Many other people didn't know, because nobody really thinks about Jada Pinkett Smith. So you don't watch her YouTube channel, and if she's not making headlines for something, nobody really thinks about her, in case you haven't noticed and stuff. And so then, because a lot of people have been asking themselves, why would Chris Rock make a joke about alopecia after he just had a documentary explaining it to people and making awareness to it? But then again, he is a comedian, and many comedians still just don't care. So just like Michael Che. Michael Che used to make the you know what virus jokes. People was dying in the early beginning because of that. Then his grandmother sadly passed away from that virus. May she rest in peace. And then about a week or two later, he started making jokes about the virus again. So comedians got this thing where it's just like they're numb. They don't care. They just make fun of everything and anything. And that's one reason why I don't like comedians. They think everything's funny. They think you have to laugh at everything. Not everything's funny. So back to Will Smith, then a day later, he decided to apologize to Chris, but he did it in the lamest, most punk way ever, in an Instagram post. Not a video, but a written post. Now, he has Instagram. He could have made a video. He has a popular YouTube channel. He could have made a video, but he did apologize to Chris. And I do not believe his apology whatsoever. If he was truly sorry, he would have apologized then and there. He would apologize instead of dancing at the after party. He would have left the building instead of refusing to leave like a grown child. He is not sorry whatsoever, because he felt that he defended his wife. But in actuality, he defended his sanity of not getting yelled at home. Because, like I said before, his wife looks and sounds mean. And her and Will have a bizarre relationship. Let's just put it like that. It is weird. There's allegations that he cheated on her with a former co-star, and we know for a fact she cheated on him with a much younger man that's a friend of her kids, because she made that public and embarrassed the crap out of him. And I believe the only reason why she made that public because somebody found out and probably was threatening to blackmail her. So she probably like beat them to the punch and everything. But either way, I bet you anything, she has put that man through the ringer and everything. And he is on an extreme stress level high. And when he was caught laughing and she got pissed at that, he's like, crap, I'm going to hear about it when I go home. And not only that, but people all around me are going to think, oh, you can't defend your wife. So he decided to defend his wife in the dumbest way possible. Old school man way. And then what made it even worse for like the people at the that was there at the Oscars, they applauded him. Gave him a standing ovation and everything. Those people are scum. They applauded assault. And they tried to cover it up with love. And the question is, if they would have got slapped, would they have clapped? No. Would they have been happy? No. And the thing is, now this is opening up a Pandora's box. Because now comedians everywhere are afraid they might get assaulted if you don't like what they're doing. And not only that, but it could be any celebrity you don't agree with their moral ways. Now they might get assaulted because there are tons of copycats. And this is also opening up a Pandora's box because now many celebrities have went off the deep end. Nick Lachey went crazy in the head. I think her name is Hayden Christensen or something like that. The one from Heroes. She before Will Smith, she went crazy with her and her boyfriend beating up some people and stuff. I bet she is thanking Will Smith big time because nobody's talking about that no more. Ezra Miller, who's the Flash. I don't know what the world's going on with him, but he is now acting crazy. Tiffany Haddish, she went crazy and everything. And it's just one celebrity after another. But now we're thinking about Will Smith because now all people can think about is Will Smith. And now, sadly, people are labeling him as an abuser, an assaulter. And I'm like, my God, like that one slap. And now people think he's a monster. He's no Chris Brown, all right? And Chris Rock is no Rihanna. Not to mention, he's no Kanye West. And Kanye West has physically beat up two men, one last month and one many years ago. Although the first time he beat somebody up, that's kind of justified because it was this racist white man who found Kim and called her an N-word lover. And he kept saying it over and over. Kim could have walked away. She could have called the police, but she called Kanye on the phone, who was around the corner. He ran up and beat the man's behind. What happened after that? I believe, don't quote me on the part, I believe the man sued Kanye and they settled out of court. So Kanye was basically set up to pay this man's bills and everything. Because well, the thing about this is that nobody wants nothing to go to court. And when people have to sell out of court, chances are they get paid some good money. And, you know, Chris has decided not to file charges and everything. And the question is, what will have slapped anybody else? People say Wanda Sykes. He would have never slapped her. People saying Dave Chappelle, 50 Cent. He would have never hit them. So why Chris? Probably because of the jokes that he made back then. Or maybe because Will got caught laughing. Now, as a result, all of Chris Rock's stans are now digging up dirt on Will Smith. And it's not pretty. Now, I've already mentioned how he slapped that one man who tried to kiss him. Now, that man was in the wrong because he's a prankster trying to make himself famous. And he had no business trying to kiss Will on the lips. But Will could have pushed that man away. He could have put that man in the headlock. He could have done something, but he ain't had to slap the man. Because what if that man would have had a weapon on him? You know what I'm saying? But still, assault is assault. And the rules of the law are weird. So even though Will is justified in that, the law still says he physically assaulted somebody. And now they found two videos. A video from a while back where Will is teaching a bunch of little 5-year-olds how to properly slap somebody in the face. The video is out there. This is not looking good for him. Then, back in the 90s or 80s, there's an Arsenio Hall video where Will is making a joke about alopecia. This is really not looking good for him. Because he literally made a joke about the same thing he so-called defended his wife for. And the man who he made a fun of said he has no ill will towards Will and all this other stuff. He was okay with it back in the day, and he's okay with it now. And so that's that. But still, the fact is, Will made a joke about the very thing he is now trying to defend. And many people are saying, like, it was just a joke. He took it too far. And what's gonna like Ricky Gervais, Gervais, is what his name is? The dude from Family Guy. They've told worse jokes at award shows, and nobody has slapped them. And Chris made an insensitive, harmless joke, and he got the taste slapped out of his mouth. And so there are a lot of celebrities now pissed at Will and labeling him as a monster. But then there's some that come to his defense, like the dude who plays Christopher Pike in the Star Trek Stranger New Worlds. He defended Will. He said it was a schoolyard bully that was made to look like a joke, and he would have slapped Chris too. Because many people are all like, look, defend your wife, hit somebody, assault people. There's this one YouTuber. First, she justified what Will did, talking about you got to stand up for your wife. Then people gave her crap. Now she's flip-flopping and everything and talking about this is assault, no matter how you look at it. And a lot of other celebrities are doing the same thing. Like this one celebrity I like, she defended Will. People got pissed at her. And now she's all like, this is why I hate Twitter. And she left. And stuff. And so the question is, what should Will have done? Now, if I was Chris Rock, and he embarrassed me in front of like millions of people, I would have done one of two things. I either would have asked him straight up, why'd you hit me? And then explain my reason for my joke. And oh, I didn't know about the alopecia thing. I either would have talked to him backstage, or I would have took off my jacket, take off my tie, take off my shirt, and then went all like WWE wrestler on his body and stuff. Because you like, some people take things the wrong way and you don't know how they're gonna react. And this is why we teach people, teach young kids, do not hit nobody. Don't hit nobody, don't assault nobody, don't physically, don't sexually, don't do none of that crap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just don't hit people. Because you got to live with the consequences. And Will needs some type of consequence. He needs to either be fined, banned, or something. And so, like, I don't think they should take his Oscar away, because he has worked hard for that. But they could have cut the feeds and not see him get his award and show his speech, something. He needs some kind of repercussion, because this needs to be like a lesson to all celebrities out there and other people around the world. When you do bad stuff, you got to pay the consequences. And so what he should have done, Will should have, now Will could have done one of these following things. If he would have yelled at Chris, like, look, man, my wife has a disease, that's why she's losing her hair, it's not funny. And that's one of the things he could have done, and I would have been okay with that. And if Chris would have been like, okay, I understand, I won't make no joke. But if Chris would have been one of those stupid comedians and kept going, then I would have walked up to Chris and then I would have gotten in his face and told him, say one more thing about my wife and you're gonna get it. And then I would have been okay if he would have hit him and stuff. Because Chris had every warning at that time. And another thing Will could have did, he could have walked up on stage, whispered in Chris's ear, like, look, man, I know you probably don't mean nothing, but my wife has a disease, it's cancerous, and this and this and that, and she's losing her hair and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Or he could talk to him behind the curtain and stuff. But walking up to somebody like you're just walking up, gonna have a good time, and then hit somebody when they didn't even see it. Well, he saw it coming. He telegraphed it. That is something you never do, because when non-celebrities hit people, they go to jail. Plain and simple as that. And so, like, and then what he should never have done was cuss on live TV. Look, this ain't Europe. This ain't England. This is America. And in America, for some bizarre reason, you're not allowed to say the word MF. You're just not. And you're supposed to get fined lots and lots of money when you do. So, but he did that because he was trying to act bloated. He was trying to act ballsy. He was trying to act like a punk. And he was trying to impress people. Plain as simple as that. And because he was in a room full of his peers and millions watching, so he's all like, you know, I got a shot. He was acting out. He was showing his natural behind is what he was doing. He acted like a child. And many people have not seen Will Smith act like this. Now, unless it's scripted. Now, Will, just because he is famous and he's a person, he doesn't show you every side of him. Now, I've already mentioned the dude he slapped that tried to kiss him. However, if you go way, way back to the Bad Boy days, and you listen to the audio commentary at the very end of the movie, I mean the very end. Remember when both characters were in the parking lot with Julie, and Martin's character was all like, look, man, I love you. If you look at the expression on Will's face, he looks irritated. Why is he irritated? Well, in the commentary, it was revealed Will did not want to say the lines, I love you too, man. He did not want to say that. They had to force him to say that. And in fact, it took hours for him to say that. It took nearly the entire afternoon, close into nighttime. That's why the lighting is completely different and stuff from when they caught the villain, and then at the end when the villain's dead and stuff. Because Will did not want to say, oh man, I love you too. He just did not want to say that. And that's because he felt that his friends back in like what he grew up with, well, looked at him differently. Because, you know, Will is from Philly and stuff like that. And, you know, back in the 90s, if people assume that you're gay or whatever, and that was like the worst thing you could ever be accused of, you know what I'm saying? And that's just how it was back in those days. We have changed from that now. And then so Will did not want his friends, his boys, to look at him that way, because Will, before he ever did Bad Boys and he was back on Fresh Prince, he was in a movie where he had to kiss another man. And he told Avery Banks, who plays Uncle Phil, that he doesn't want to do that. He does not want to kiss another man, just because he doesn't want to, and he doesn't want people thinking he's a certain way. And Avery Brooks told him, is that Avery Brooks? I think so. Avery Brooks. Avery Brooks. Yeah, he told him, forget what your friends back home think of you. This is your job. This is your career. You're making money, this and that. Who cares what they think of you? Because years from now, they probably not even going to still be your friends and stuff. And their perception of you should always be the person that you are now and who you are. And just because you do this one thing should not change that. So he did it. But then years later, when he did Bad Boys, he did not want to say that word. Then, of course, many years later, when he did that one movie with Kevin Smith, I think it is, he kissed another man. And so it's kind of like there is a side to Will that people do not get to see. He let us see who he wants to see, just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That nice, goofy, happy side of his. But he is a man, and a man's man at that. And he is from Philly, and he grew up in like the hood. So there is a side to him that we don't get to see, but he keeps that concealed and he keeps that under wrap. However, I think his wife is bringing a lot of that out in him. That and his movies just aren't where they used to be no more. Every movie he's came out with for the last 5 years to a decade has pretty much bombed and everything. Except for that Aladdin movie, and that was not perfect. He was the best part in Aladdin, but there was still flaws in like his singing and this and that. And so his career just isn't where it used to be, but he is still working hard to make it where it needs to be. And so that could be a lot stressful. Then there are his kids, they're always in the headline for some bizarre, weird thing. So he has to deal with that. And he has to hear people make fun of his kids. And nobody wants to hear that because he loves his kids regardless and stuff. And it's kind of hurts when his own fans, people who supposedly love him, are making fun of his kids, something that he made, you know what I'm saying? And then there's his wife. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he stood with her after all these years. I would have filed for divorce years ago and stuff. And so, and also, because like people don't ever talk about him no more, not even online. The last time people talked about him was the Aladdin movie and when his wife cheated on him. And now they're talking about this. So he is going through something. And like I said before, him and his wife have a bizarre lifestyle. Supposedly they have a bizarre religion. I don't know. I can't find no proof of that. And a whole lot of other weird celebrity, weird like stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so like the thing of this is like, because I want to wrap this up because it's getting a little long, is like if the joke isn't really that bad, it's just a joke. And then you go talk to that person, ask them why they did that, and you explain. You have to talk things out. People just can't go around hitting people. This is what people did many years ago, and people are now ended up dead. You know what I'm saying? Or ended up in jail, or regret what they have done. Because he don't know what Chris has gone through. Both of them have gone through traumatic stuff growing up. Will saw his father beat his mom. Chris put like a brick in a bag, and I think he said he was about to beat the crap out of somebody who was bullying him. They have both gone through stuff. And Will's a comedian as well. On Fresh Prince, that man made so many black versus white jokes. It was just insane. And nobody slapped him for that. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody was to slap him, he would not be too thrilled about that. And people need to stop justifying what he did, talking about his love is defending your wife. It wasn't even that. And so, and it's sad because Will is taking away a lot of attention from some real stuff that's going on in the world. Overseas, there's still a war. In America, there's still corruption. And nobody wants to talk about that stuff no more. And there's a virus still going around. And nobody wants to talk about this stuff no more because everybody wants to talk about Will Smith. Big Willie style. But you know what? You were chilly, Willie. And you should never have done that. Plain and simple. And now he has to be embarrassed for the rest of his life. He has to have tons of memes made about what happened. And Chris is embarrassed by this. His kids saw that. His family saw that. And all this accumulated all because a man couldn't act professionally, couldn't act like an actual man, and reverted to that of a child. And it's sad, and it's real sad, because Will Smith, he's more than just an actor. He is a role model to many people of all ages. And, we teach little kids, do not hit people because you can go to jail or you can end up dead or you can end up in the hospital. And so, some little kid's going to see them. They're like, well, I could slap somebody too. It's just a slap. You know what I'm saying? And that man really tarnished his entire career and his manlyhood. All because he had to show out in front of a bunch of people and act like he's all that. But he's Will Smith. He's already all that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't had nothing to prove. He could have handled this in a very professional manner. Because, nobody wants to see what happened to Tupac and Biggie ever again. And in the world we live in now, everybody's going backwards. They really are. And let us, as a society, let both Chris and Will handle this. Let the Academy handle this. And let the law handle this. Because we got more pressing things happening in the world. And people have lost sight of that. And we can't stop forgetting those things that's going on in the world. Because that's going to affect us, Like Will Smith is still gonna be Will Smith and Chris Rock's still gonna be Chris Rock, but we're still gonna be dealing with all the crap that's going on in the world today. Now, as for Will Packer, the man who produced the Oscars that night, he needs to be removed. And he needs to be removed for the simple fact is he did not do his job. He didn't do nothing after Will slapped Chris. In fact, he has went on record stating that he had no idea the police was there. He had no idea that people wanted Will removed, and he never spoke to Chris about trying to remove Will. He just did absolutely nothing. Like, what kind of producer is that? He should have taken charge. He should have taken the leadership role and removed Will and made Will be removed and everything. And he should have forced Will to make an apology to Chris, or at least have them two talk it out. But he did nothing. He just literally just I don't care. Just give us some ratings. And that's probably all he wanted and stuff. So if he's not going to professionally do his job, then let's say he produces them next year. What's going to happen if a situation like this happens again? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, it has been noted, like since I recorded this earlier, it was 2 days ago, Will has now resigned from the Academy. So that's something, I guess, but still, he needs more consequences than him resigning and stuff. Mufasa did not die for this. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.